is it time to arm our military members at soft targets, which are gun-free zones?
Well, Jim Hansen from the Center for Security Policy, who served in the U.S. Army Special Forces, joins us now. Good morning, Jim. Thanks for being with us this Friday.
Good to be with you.
And many are saying that they were just sitting ducks where they were. Would we have a different outcome if that gun-free zone sign was not posted in the window?
Well, as Ainsley reported, there were a whole lot of bullet holes right around that sign, and yet no return fire. Our military, the most highly trained people in using weapons that we have, were cowering behind their desks because we disarmed them. All right, it's an administrative rule. It's a policy decision that could have and should have already been changed. That's a leadership failure.
Well, that goes back to the Bill Clinton administration, I believe, when they started that. Now, when you were Special Forces and you were at Fort Lewis, I understand, as that was a gun-free zone, you weren't having any of that. You actually were packing heat.
Well, I had a concealed carry permit from the state of Washington that allowed me to carry a pistol anywhere in the state except Fort Lewis. Now, that's absurd. At that point in time, Fort Lewis and the Tacoma area was a dangerous place, so I did carry. And I'm not going to say I broke that rule, but I didn't allow an administrative law to disarm me.
Interesting. And talk about the threat to our men and women in uniform all around the country now. If a lone wolf, that's what it's believed to be right now, possibly inspired by ISIS or another terror group, can do this in Chattanooga, Tennessee, what kind of threat is there to our men and women in uniform at military facilities, not just in this country, but all around the world?
Well, anywhere the U.S. military serves, you base your force protection posture on the threat. Obviously, ISIS has brought the threat to America. The threat is here, our enemy lives among us, and we need to act accordingly. Any place U.S. military personnel gather in more than 2 or 3, one of them should be armed to protect the rest at a minimum, and that's a change President Obama should make today.
You say at least one armed guard there. This is an ugly face of terror that we're seeing, this lone wolf-style gunman who came here onto the recruitment facility there. Do you think that our men and women in uniform need to be trained to fight enemies who are civilians, not just while they're out deployed?
Well, at this point, anyone who's got a pistol or any other type of weapon pointing at our military stops being a civilian and starts being the enemy. And they're already trained to do that. Now, maybe some additional training for carrying weapons in a civilian environment would be helpful, but they know what to do if they have weapons and the enemy attacks. They do it in the battlefields around the world, and they can certainly do it here, and we need to authorize them to do that.
All right, Jim Hansen, who says now it's enough with the gun-free zones on military installations.